What's up, Footy fans? Here with another episode with Patrick Rose, the founder of Black Star. Got big news. They announced their National Women's Combat. We're gonna dive deep into it. My guy, how you doing? Appreciate you joining the show.
Yo, Hugh, I'm good, bro. Appreciate the invite. Happy to just chop it up, catch up and everything.
Of course, my guy. How's life been? What you up to now?
Life is good. It's definitely super busy. Became a father like 9 months ago, so that's another big life
Congrats.
change. So
Yes.
life stuff is good with the fam. Obviously a lot of like cool stuff happening on the work front. Big year for soccer this year. I mean, this World Cup coming. So there's a lot of things are popping up. So
Right.
all good, all good.
Where you at? You in Detroit still?
No, I'm actually I've been based in Jersey. So like actually I never lived in Detroit. Like we go there for a bunch of events and stuff, but I've been based in Jersey for the last 4 years, but originally from the Baltimore area. So I grew up there. I'm right outside of Baltimore. Spent some time in DC with school and then a little pit stop in Boston and then I ended up in Jersey a couple years ago.
Let's dive into that. That's a good segue to even dive in. So take us back to your journey. I'm actually from the DMV too, man. Maryland,
Okay.
Gaithersburg, went to good counseling.
Or
It is too. But talk to us,
yeah.
man. How'd you get started? Where'd it all begin for you?
Yeah, man. So, probably similar to a lot of folks. Like my parents Jamaican, so I definitely had that Jamaican Caribbean background. So that was my introduction into soccer. My dad was a big fan, a player himself growing up. So like he really put us on to sports at an early age. So I started playing the game around the age of probably like 4, like recreational soccer. Played basketball as well. So those are my two go-to sports growing up. So definitely huge sports got coming up. And definitely like as I grew up, just like took more of a liking to soccer, especially as I got to the high school age when I had to really make that decision around like what I wanted to focus on because I was good at both sports. I played them at a decently high level, but the soccer, the passion was there, and just I was just better at the sport, so I had to make that decision. And yeah, started to focus more on soccer in high school. But yeah, played club ball, club wise, like I guess all throughout the DMV, but mostly in the Baltimore area growing up. So I played for the Baltimore Bays for a bit. Played for Free State, which is right, that was a club I played for right before college there in PG County, Largo. During school, I did like a little PDL thing with Potomac. So yeah, just all around like DMV, Baltimore area clubs coming up, and then as I played club ball, played high school, then got recruited to play D1 soccer at Howard University. So that was a super dope experience to play at an HBCU, just really like taking my game to the college level, which was like one of my kind of like the main goal I had coming up playing. That was like, how can I take this and go to college with it? So
Yep.
yeah, I was able to play from the youth ranks all the way up to college, and yeah, that's where my kind of ended there. But definitely still love the game, still play a lot of pickup adult league stuff now. So yeah,
So backtrack for us a little bit, man. Talk about basketball a little bit more. How did that kind of shape your life? Because I also actually went to high school for basketball too, man, and it shaped my life to.
yeah. No, I think it was definitely a big part of my life because, as I mentioned, I was a two-sport athlete. I think even probably my dad as well. Like he was a big Knicks fan because he grew
Mm,
up in New York as well. So that was like kind of the first team that I gravitated towards. But I feel like got a lot of community like through playing basketball because I played AAU ball. Obviously, you're always together with your boys, like summer tournaments, practices, and the community I grew up in, like it was diverse, but it wasn't super diverse. So I feel like that's where I was able to kind of find more Black folks in sports. So, like that was definitely felt like home for me playing basketball. So had aspirations like growing up to see like if I can either play basketball or soccer in college. So as I was in high school, it was just a point where I just the passion just kind of took off more in the soccer ranks. I found I was having more success being a two-sport athlete. Like the soccer season, like key moments when you're having like these big showcases is right in the middle of basketball season. So I had to make some decisions like, am I going to go to this practice or am I going to just showcase to kind of like see if I can take my soccer skills to the next level? So I felt like it was one had to make a sacrifice, and really just make a decision. So made that choice. But definitely, I mean, basketball shaped me in terms of just sport culture, like Kobe, Iverson, all them dudes really like kind of shaped how I saw like Black athletes coming up. And I love just the way that, especially like in the NBA, like you see players, coaches, even like starting to see some ownership kind of represented from the Black community, which is definitely not the way it is in soccer.
yep.
Especially media too. Like you got obviously inside the NBA, you got all these like different outlets of folks that are represented. So I'd love to see soccer at some point kind of get that same level of representation. Like even the stuff that you're doing is like super dope to start that process. So yeah, man. But yeah, it was definitely a big thing for me as far as like this intersection of sport culture and just having even the skills and crossover from basketball, like
Yep.
having that translate to soccer was helpful. Like the conditioning and all that stuff. So yeah, man, it played a big part.
It goes hand in hand. When I first started playing ball, I was actually in the post, and when I played as a nine, I was just posting up people doing the same moves. Switched to center back now,
Hmm.
it's like the guarding guys in the post kind of thing. I want you to dive a little bit deeper for us into the culture. I read in one of your articles you said you felt like you were kind of one of the only few minorities out there playing soccer. Compare that
Yeah.
soccer and just talk about basketball and the culture. For me, just real quick too, basketball definitely shaped my life. Literally to this day is why I do what I do because I saw that so early, like black everything. One of the first black coaches told me if you're not going to go to college, you better go to HBCU at least because this is the best times of your lives. And, having black everything in
Hmm.
that community in DC and DMV and Baltimore, especially, man, kind of shaped me
Yeah.
to the point where in high school, it's like, man, I feel that lack a little bit in soccer. And like, let me try to, strive to be a difference too. So just touch on that a little bit
Hmm.
for us.
Yeah, not for sure. I think growing up, like especially when I got to the club level, as I like started to get through the ranks of just youth soccer in America, not even America, just like in Baltimore. Like I played for like some of the I guess more prominent clubs in the area, but there was never a point where there was more than like two black folks, including me on the team. So I kind of always felt like alone in a sense. Obviously, I had friends, but just like being able to connect to folks on just a cultural level, it just really wasn't there all the time. It wasn't really until I played for a club in PG County, which is like one of the most like I guess black counties in
Yep.
Maryland, but also America too. Like that's when I really started to see some diversity. But it was definitely, I would say, lonely at times in terms of like just kind of feeling like you're the only one. And if I juxtapose that experience like to my basketball, like same community team is like 99% black,
Hmm.
coach is black. So just like because the sport has just a deeper history in the community, obviously there's a lot of access barriers and stuff that you can like touch on, but it was just a totally different experience in terms of the representation and then just the kind of family atmosphere that I got there versus in soccer. Being the one only ones, while it was still a great team, it was just you didn't really have that same kind of community familiar atmosphere to it. So I
Right.
would say those were some of the bigger differences, and I really got to see the huge shift when I got to Howard, just because I never played in an all like virtually all black team before, so that was just like
Yeah.
super. One, it was like empowering just to be able to play with people that look like you from like all over the country, all over the world, because we had people from the Caribbean, from different African nations, from Canada. So it was a super diverse experience, although it was all black. You still get that diversity of folks, of playing styles, of cultures. So it's like a melting pot of black culture, which is like one of my more favorite soccer experiences overall when I like think about my career coming up.
Man, that's beautiful too. I was going to ask you about Howard, so I appreciate you breaking that down, man. That's one of the things when looking back for even for myself too. I do wish, because you know the notion as well too. HBCU is not funded as well, recruiting wise,
Hmm.
kind of steer different ways. It is one of the reasons why I went to George Mason, but I did, man. I know my guy Coach Giles out there too. I would have loved to go at Howard and play too. So I'm glad you broke that down
Yeah,
for us. Then you go to
nah, definitely, man.
MIT. You had a big research. You did a big research project on the lack of access, representation, and cultural relevancy of soccer for Black people in America. Touch on that,
Hmm.
why you wanted to do that and how that process went for you, and how that transpired.
Yeah, man, definitely. So, I started like after I graduated from Howard, I started my career doing management consulting. So I was working at IBM in DC. I'm doing like a lot of projects like in the federal, like public sector space, kind of intersecting tech and business. And I gained a lot of great skills, but I just wasn't super passionate about the work. So I was like, man, how can I apply all these great skills that I have to something I actually care about? Because it's like when I think about this
Mhm.
federal public sector stuff, it just really wasn't super exciting. So I'm just like, I've dedicated my whole life to sports, to soccer specifically. Like maybe there's a way to kind of translate these skills into the sports business side of things. So I always had in the back of my mind that I wanted to go to business school just to kind of just pursue higher education, more opportunities through that. So I was actually looking at a couple of schools and never really even thought about MIT. Just one, it's in Boston. Like that's not really my vibe. The people, the codes, I was like, nah, I don't know about that. But I had a friend that actually worked with her fiance at the time was at MIT Sloan's program. She was always like talking great things about it. So ended up going to a information session they had in DC and just really kind of fell in love with the community and learned about just how they have like a big presence in the sports space. They host like one of the biggest sports business conferences called the MIT Sports, the Sloan Analytics Conference. And they bring together leaders from across like teams, leagues, but also like academic people as well. So I think that fact that they had that, the fact that they had professors that had like a lot of sports experience was like super appealing. And then the community aspect was big as well. So ended up applying there. Was blessed to get in, and as I was there, I was just like laser focused on like how can I just network and I kind of find my ways to transition to sports in general. I wasn't really thinking about soccer specifically, just because I know it's like super hard to break into the sports
Right.
industry on the business side. So I was like casting a wide net, but I had a professor that really gave me some great advice. He was just like, because you have a great professional experience, but because you've never worked in industry, there's not a lot of I guess tangible things you can talk about. So he's just like you should do a project, do the work, showcase what you want to do or what you're trying to do in the space so that people can kind of look and see that you have a portfolio and a body of work to kind of take and even the fact that you may have like a perspective and a point of view on like how the industry can look at things differently. So I was like, let me dissect that. Let me kind of think through like what are some issues or things that I want to tackle. And obviously, like being a black person in soccer, I've always had the question in the back of my mind as far as like why there weren't more of us playing the game at these higher levels. For all the reasons that I talked about, as far as like being like one-on-one in the teams that I grew up and playing on. So I wanted to research and dive into that from like a player perspective, but also like a fandom, a kind of media coverage representation perspective too. So it was like a study on one, just the lack of access issues that we face as a community in the game, and then two, like how do you create and develop fans and like more representation in like media? So I kind of looked at it from those two lenses and really dove into just a qualitative study. So I interviewed a bunch of like players, administrators, fans, people that play the game, maybe like folks that quit, just to kind of like
Right.
get some holistic understanding around like how we perceive the game and like some of the barriers to entry and also like things that can like be invested into to really help grow and engage the community in a bigger way. So I dove into that research. It was like a super fun project for me. Like I gained a lot of passion, just even like doing that whole thing, just being able to talk to so many people. And I put it out and really kind of got traction as far as people who were like interested in what it was, what I was doing. I was able to use that research to even like get my first official sports internship. So I interned on ESPN's corporate strategy team, and then even after that, that's really how I connected to Force Soccer and just the whole Black Star opportunity as well. Because at the time, Force Soccer, the company that had just launched in 2019, I was interested. Didn't really know what the company was, but I'm just like, let me hit some people up to see what they're doing. I sent the research, and it just so happened that they were looking to start a brand in a space that could really engage the community in an authentic way. So from that research, that really gave me an opportunity to do some part-time work with them, essentially an internship that turned into a full-time role after I graduated. So that
Mhm.
paper was like super transformational, really kind of unlocking doors for me to even kind of get into the sports and soccer industry after MIT. So, yeah, man.
And then, like you said, that segued into Black Star, man. Talk about the origin first, how it got started, your mission and everything,
Yeah.
man. A big fan of you guys. It was great to see your event up in Detroit too when I pulled up.
Yeah, man, definitely. So yeah, Black Star was I guess it was birthed like unofficially in 2020, while I was in school. So when I connected to the Force Soccer team, as I mentioned, they were looking to really establish some type of like brand or program to kind of reach the community in a way, but obviously needing some people from that community to help lead the initiative. So like my paper talked about a lot of issues and things that were relevant to like what they were trying to do. So I was able to help kind of come on board to kind of launch what Black Star is, along with a few other folks that were mission aligned. So it was like myself, few folks that had like good operational experience from even doing some things and helping to build soccer programming in the Hispanic community, and then even like other kind of media folks that have just kind of been in and around the game. So came together with them and established Black Star to really be like now like a kind of a leading community powered media and events brand that's really trying to elevate and cultivate Black soccer culture and pathways for the next generation. So that's our mission, like cultivating Black soccer culture and pathways, and we do that through on-field programming on the grassroots level. Content and storytelling is huge, and it's really kind of any like cultural platform or thing, whether it's like through the fashion space, whether it's through like a curated like fan event to engage, is really trying to bring all the things that we love from Black culture into the soccer space in an authentic way for our community. So it's a lot of things, but I think like the core things like the on-field programming, the media content storytelling, and the kind of off-field fashion culture and how that kind of fits through like a lifestyle lens. So yeah.
And you're partnering with Pro Club Detroit City, hosting free clinics as well. Let's talk about the
hmm
impact you've seen and that you've made with some of the families.
Yeah, man. I think that's one of my favorite things about Black Star, just being able to see that tangible impact. Because we've grown from like one market or city, which was Detroit. We launched there in 2021, and now we're in six different cities, including DC, Houston, New York, Atlanta, and LA. So it's really been great to one see the growth, been able to kind of go to different cities, but also just like the kids, because oftentimes like some of them may be first timers,
Right.
parents who don't really know anything about soccer. They kind of come from like the football, basketball world, so they're trying to like get their kids into something new. some kids are playing at a decently high level, but are looking for environments that feel like home. They're like the only black kids in their team, so they come to the events for that sense of community. And then other kids, they're just like curious. So I feel like, and parents are like often the bigger drivers too. They want to put their kids in an environment where there's representation, where there's other black coaches and folks that care and want to see them grow in the game. Just because, as you know, like the sport is very much so like a suburban white sport, and a lot of America. So like how can you like create spaces that really are cultivating the game in a way that is a little different, but also like welcoming too. So I think it's been cool just to see the growth. Like I think the very first event when people came out, I was like, dang, people actually care about this and want to see it take off and grow. And then the other cool thing is like seeing like some of the same players and parents come back year after year, just looking forward to what we're doing in the community. Because obviously I would love to have events like year round, but right now we're doing about like two events per city. So it's just really great to see the reception and just even the consistency of people wanting to help out, wanting to support, whether it's a parent, a player, or even like mission aligned organizations like Detroit City FC and other pro clubs and youth organizations that we work with across the nation. So it's beautiful to see, man.
Beautiful, man. Keep that going, man. Keep broad expanding out to new cities because honestly, every city needs what you guys are doing right now, too, man. Kind of
Yeah.
segueing to the first ever Black Women's Combine. Why now? How did I get started? It's amazing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So as we launched, like really our I guess strategy was like obviously one, how do we introduce kids to the game at that youth kind of younger level with the clinics, but also how do you provide like a platform for like the high school age kid who may maybe playing on the club team, maybe is undiscovered, maybe doesn't have the resources to play. Like how do you create a free platform for them to get seen by college coaches, pro scouts, like academy scouts and all that. So that was really at the heart of our grassroots programming from the very beginning. So in our Detroit launch event, we had a clinic, but we also had a talent ID showcase event.
Hmm.
So we've been doing this events locally for the past 4 years in each of our cities, but we've pivoted a little bit this year and really thinking through like one, how do we have more impact? How do we like kind of invest into something to make it a more elevated experience? So thinking through what that looks like. We always had in our mind like how do we do this national showcase, but it just wasn't possible if we were still kind of doing all the local ones at the same time, just from like a resourcing standpoint. So we're just like, how do we kind of think through and launch something that's national that can provide that same impact? So we are able to make that pivot with our lead sponsor and title sponsor, Allstate. So shout out to them for sponsoring and helping out what we do. But yeah, we wanted to launch a national platform this year, and it's specifically focused on girls. It's the first ever like showcase for like Black girls and women in the game at the high school level. So I think it's one super powerful that we're able to do something that's kind of first of its kind. But also I love that starting with the ladies as far as like platform and like giving them that platform too, because the intention is to obviously have both boys and girls program, but I think with the moment that women's sports is having the investment into the space, we just thought it made sense for us to kind of tackle and like provide that opportunity for girls as we just continue to see the sport grow. So, yeah, man, super excited for that. We're partnering with the Black Women's Player Collective, so shout out to the team there for um, taking this journey with us. And we have a lot of great sponsors, schools, and really just on the I guess the planning tip right now in terms of like getting all the things in motion, identifying the players, locking in with the schools and everything. So I'm excited for it, man.
Man, I love that you dove into women specifically because I was going to ask you why women specifically, like you just said, the
Yeah.
NWSL, even the USLW league's growing, but kind of
hmm
just dive into a little bit deeper. Obviously, the men, the World Cup's coming as well too, and the men need the attention as well, but specifically why women
Yeah.
as well. And you just dive a little deeper how the women's group in the NWSL intends to help you guys as well.
Yeah. So with the women, I think really, I mean, this is like more like a macro, just how the nation views Black women, but I feel like they're often underserved, often overlooked, in terms of like how people treat and just think about like supporting Black women in sports. Like you see it in not only sports, but just in life in general. When you look at the corporate world, just society, like they're often like not primary thoughts of like how to serve and like uplift people. So we're just like, how do we want to like look to empower and work with women to like put together something that's powerful, but two, just because Black women in soccer, they're such an emerging and powerful force. And you look at our national teams, like it's crazy to see like the
Mhm.
talent coming up, and a lot of those folks are like Black women. When you think about the Corey Bethunes, Trinity Rodmans, a lot of the amazing talent that's coming up is like young Black talent. Even at the NWSL level, I know it's grown from 2020 where it was like 3.8% Black women, and now it's 12%. So you're seeing just a lot more participation, but there's just a lot of overlooked talent also. So thinking through like how do we help to tackle the issue of like providing those pathways. And we just wanted to like kind of start there as far as like empowering and working with women, with organizations like BWPC to put something together. So yeah, that's kind of the rationale for why we started with Black girls for this year. And then BWPC, they've been super helpful because obviously like they're the foremost organization when it comes to player
Yeah.
representation and uplifting women in all the pro leagues. I know they started at NWSL, but they now represent all Black players across all the different leagues in the US, but also even some in Europe. So they've been able to be supportive and helpful with the planning. They're going to have some players represented. Brianna Pinto, shout out to her. She's been able to represent our showcase in some media coverage as we announced. So they've been like very crucial in the planning. And they're going to be doing some programming specifically during the showcase as well with their Elevate the Next platform. So excited to tap in with them more. And yeah, it's going to be a joint partnership to really put the event on with them.
I'm glad you touched on the players pulling up as well too, because I was going to ask you what was kind of the structure going to be like of the combine. If you don't mind diving into a little bit of details, what are some of the women
Hmm.
going to get out of this? Hopefully, you have some scouts there, as you said, maybe scholarship
Yeah.
opportunities kind of thing, and obviously
Hmm.
players are pulling up, which is great for them to see. Kids can't be what they can't see as well too, so that's great that they're pulling up. Just kind of dive a little
Hmm.
bit into the structure and what you hope the outcome wise is for the girls.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. So the showcase is going to be obviously providing a platform for girls to get seen by college coaches and even some of the local pro scouts that may be coming out as well. I know U.S. Soccer, they're going to be coming through with some of their local scouts, and then the Dash is going to be involved just because obviously the local to Houston where the showcase is taking place, but also one of our board members, she is one of the president or GMs for the club, so she's been super supportive. She's on our board, so definitely want to have like some of the pro clubs tapping in as well, but. Basically, the main goal with it for sure is exposure for the girls for them to take their game to the next level, which is for college for most of them. But also, we are going to be providing a lot of off-field programming as well. Because when you think about like how do you develop as a player, there's definitely a lot of off-field components that we want to help with that. So we're going to be doing some college prep sessions as far as like what does it mean to apply for college, how do you get recruited, all those types of things. We're going to have some mental health sessions, and even nutrition sessions as well. And also, this is something that BWPC is bringing to the table, but thinking through like the lifestyle element of a specifically like a women's soccer player, like how do you prep for like hair and makeup as a pro player? Like what does that look like to like look and feel good mentally, but also physically? So we want to kind of provide some holistic programming both on and off the field. So it's going to be a 4-day event with some training sessions, some showcase games. They'll be competing, bringing against local talent, and then also we're going to be providing like obviously the college coaches coming out, some pro scouts as well. So yeah, man, that's kind of a high level, but yeah, I would say mix of on off field programming, providing that platform for exposure, and then just kind of like tapping in with other things to kind of supplement the whole experience.
I love the off-field program, man. Building these, obviously, the combine is most important, but building these women up to being more than just like athletes themselves, taking care of them for the future
Hmm.
also shows your guys' worth and how much you value each player because you're not just leaving them to dry as well, too. So I really appreciate you touching that too, man. What's the future
Yeah,
of Black Star?
man. I mean, the future is definitely bright. And it's exciting too, man. I feel like we're just in a super cool moment, just the whole soccer industry where obviously there's a lot of big moments coming up. So you got Club America happened recently, World Cup is coming, which is a big moment. But also there's a 27 Women's World Cup. There's the LA at 28 Olympics, which is going to be in stateside, and then hopefully a 2031 Women's World Cup in America as well. So there's like a whole, basically like kind of a decade of just big like soccer tentpole moments. So for Black Star, we're thinking like how do we just kind of grow the brand in all the areas that we want to? I think we have a very strong grassroots presence. So we're obviously going to be able to and want to continue to grow that, but thinking through like what does it look like to really engage fans, build culture, build community around our content, around kind of fan focused initiatives, and really kind of bringing the culture in a cool way to soccer. So I think us having a bigger focus on the kind of lifestyle side is something you're going to see over the next couple of years as far as like tapping in with fans on kind of the merch streetwear side of things from content and even kind of some bigger brand activations, like partner with the other entities that are like-minded that really want to kind of push the culture forward. So I think for us, like kind of the next phase is how do we kind of grow and scale like the culture focused things while still maintaining and growing our grassroots presence to provide the same access that we're doing right now.
I like that, man. You guys are on the right track. I mean, I didn't even think about this whole next decade, literally, man, is a lot of soccer fan bases coming to America, man. You have to
It's
capitalize.
crazy.
Completely
It's
agree.
crazy.
I'm planning on capitalizing on that as well too, man. What about
Yeah.
your personal goals and aspirations?
Man, personal goals. obviously, this the career. Just want to continue to grow as a leader, grow as a man. Would love to be able to kind of progress as an exec, and I think maybe sometime down the line could be something entrepreneurial. But I'm gonna kind of just focus on the next couple of years, which is really kind of just stewarding and growing Black Star. And then yeah, on the family front, just want to obviously stay tapped in as a new father. Just enjoying the marriage life, the family life. So I think kind of focusing on kind of the things that matter for me, which is like definitely my faith, family, and just like the career thing. So I think just kind of merging those things and making sure I'm on point in every facet of it.
Amen, bro. You're on the right track, man. Keep doing your thing. Where can people find you guys at?
So yeah, definitely tap in on social or this is Black Star Soccer on IG, Black Star Soccer on TikTok. Those are our two primary platforms. And then our website is blackstarsoccer.com. And then definitely if you check that out, you can sign up for our newsletter to stay tapped in for event just updates there. So yeah, social, website, and then our newsletter are the ways you can find us.
Tap in with my guys, man. They're doing great things. Patrick, I appreciate you breaking all that down, my man. All the best with everything as well, too. We'll be tapped in with you guys, working with you guys. We're big fans of what you guys are doing. Keep doing big things out here.
I appreciate you, man. Definitely want to see if we can get some stuff popping as well
Sure.
with what you're doing. I love it, love your platform and appreciate the time, man.
Appreciate you, boss.